Hi, it's Debbie from Degenstein Library with a book review of some of our newest nonfiction that we have. The first one I'm going to talk about is George VI and Elizabeth. Author Sally Bedell Smith was given permission by their daughter Elizabeth II to access their diaries and letters. Theirs is a love story, and with the help from his wife Elizabeth, he overcame his shyness and sensitivity, and also he had a stutter that his wife helped him with. He became a world leader during World War II with Elizabeth by his side. He trained his daughter Elizabeth II to become a successful monarch for 70 years, and we have an inside view to the struggles, hopes, and triumphs of George VI and Elizabeth. Next nonfiction book I have is called The Angel Makers by Patti McCracken. This is a true crime story of a 1920s midwife in Hungary known as Auntie Susie. She was in a small village, would dispense homemade elixirs to the villagers with all sorts of ailments. But the one thing she became famous for, she, along with a group of women, murdered at least 160 men by arsenic. When it was discovered, it had gone on for 15 years, and it was carried out by mothers, wives, and daughters to rid themselves of abusive husbands or anyone who got in their way. The next book is Unmasked by Paul Holes. He is a detective who helped some of America's toughest cold cases, including the Golden State Killer. But at what cost? He begins drinking and having nightmares, wakes up with wet sheets, does not know what is going on within himself. He is proud of the work that he has done, but now, after 20 years, the suppressed darkness is beginning to seep out. Hi, it's Debbie again with 3 more books to review for nonfiction. I thought these sounded very interesting. The first one I'm going to talk about is called V for Victory by Craig Nelson. It's 1938. Britain and France prime ministers forced Czechoslovakia to cede land to the Third Reich. Thus began the persecution of Jews, beginning with Kristallnacht, destroying Jewish business enterprises and terrorizing the Jewish population. Charles Lindbergh, an American hero, praised the Nazi air power so much that he was awarded the Service Cross of the German Eagle. At this time, the U.S. was politically isolationist and pacifist in their dealings with the world in general. Our air defense and military were small at this time. That same year, 1938, FDR, 3 years before Pearl Harbor, began ordering expansion of domestic plane population. This started American enterprise and ingenuity as a secret weapon for World War II victory. Under Roosevelt, the U.S. rose from poverty and transformation of Americans to believe in what could be achieved. It was the start of middle-class affluence and Americans becoming a leader of world affairs. The next book that I have is called In the Blood by Charles Barber. The majority of soldiers who died instantly or bled to death before reaching the operating room was caused by lack of a clotting agent. This reinforced the need for new treatment in trauma medicine. Two men with no military or medical experience, Frank Hersley and Bart Golbing, discovered a cheap crushed rock called zellolite that had blood clotting abilities. They named it Quick Clot. In the meantime, the Army had set out to damage the reputation of Quick Clot and its success. A 6-year struggle with an Army colonel, John Holcomb, ensued. The Army had already had 2 remedies in use that did not work well, with side effects including stroke and heart attack. The last one I have to review is called Trial of the Century by Gregg Jarrett. In 1925, a high school substitute teacher, John Scopes, was arrested for teaching evolution in violation of the Tennessee Butler Act. Attorney Clarence Darrow agreed to defend the teacher. The following trial became a legal blockbuster of a generation in a small town, Dayton, Tennessee, and it put it in the national spotlight. Darrow's defense of freedom of speech helped form the legal bedrock of today's civil liberties. This book calls upon our past to unite Americans in defense of free exchange of ideas. Thank you.